Hey guys, I'm back. I've got my medic box for April 2025 and I'm pretty excited. So we're building our individual IFAK here. We've got all of our items from the pro level with one exception. The Kershaw knife that came as the rescue knife. If you haven't seen it and you don't know why I don't like it as a rescue knife, I don't like it as a rescue knife. You can go back and watch the previous video, any video that I have talking about rescue knives. I'm making one substitution. I'm going to include the Gerber Hinderer rescue knife collaboration into this in place of that Kershaw drivetrain, because this is a rescue knife. Now the other one, I get it, was good. It was a good EDC knife. You know, it had features that you would use EDC, but if we're talking about a rescue knife and they labeled it a rescue knife, that's a rescue knife. So anyway, that being said, let's get into our pro box for April. Is this where the tape is? Why is that? Oh, that's just for the label. I'm on the wrong side of the box. Let's see what it holds for us. Okay, so EDC, box number 8, EDC phase 2. Here we are. Let's see, 1, 2. A lot of this is not going to fit in that nice little pouch, I gotta say. But that's okay, because I have many different little pouches that we can use, that we can put stuff in if I need to. And a box for Peter Kitty Cat. Oh, there's Peter Kitty Cat. Peter Kitty Cat, sir, would you like a box? Want a box? Can you fit in that? You can fit in that. So in this, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty sure that goes to that. 5, 6, 7 items. No, not over here. Go in the box. PETA is now coming here instead of going in the box. What are you doing? Go in the box. Box cat. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did I miscount? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I did miscount. Okay. All right. So let's go through the box, item by item, as I do an excruciating detail, and as your warning. Stations, all stations, we have medical items in the box. I repeat, medical items.
Better get the old man down here.
The president's in his limousine. They're diverting to Andrews. The vice president is out of position, and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs is on his way.
Priority traffic. We are now at DEFCON 3. Incoming medical rant.
Okay, so first, the ETQ wide everyday carry tourniquet. Tourniquets are, God, do I talk about tourniquets a lot, and how I'm a broken record. How they used to be the last resort, and treatment protocols have changed a lot to where we apply them more often than we used to. Does this have, is that a light? Is this a light stick or a level? No, it's a little light stick, I guess. I'm assuming. That's, I gotta read about that. What is that? Oh, yep, it says integrated chem light. So you can snap that and then let people know, hey, tourniquet on board. Cool. I'm not going to take it out. It looks like it would work pretty well. Wide, of course, we never want to use like a piece of string as a tourniquet. It's just not done. I like it. It's like a one piece. It wraps up, it holds itself together. I just said I'm not going to take it out, and I might be taking it out now. All nylon. And there's like a QR thing. Are these the instructions? It's probably the instructions. I don't know. But go back in there. Go back in. So I can have you nicely. Okay, that's cool. And again, you know, for a tourniquet for EDC, that just shows you how much that we have changed the protocol of carrying a tourniquet compared to what it used to be. So, all right, I'm not gonna go through the whole speech this time. I've given it so many times. So that, I don't think, is going to fit into the pouch. It does not have a little listing, a little packing instruction for the pouch. So yeah, that's not going in there. Okay. So this you're just gonna have to carry, and they give us something. So I'm gonna jump to the pro level for a minute, because this is a sleeve, keeps the ETQ compressed, prevents the Velcro material from catching on clothing. And it can be slid over belts, slings, or attached to carabiners, keys, etc. So this is how we EDC carry the tourniquet. As they talk about preventing the Velcro material from catching on stuff, it catches as you put it in. So it's a little bit of a challenge to get in there. No, actually it's not bad at all. And the thing is, theoretically, you're going to get it into this skin once, and you're going to pull it out once, you know, when you need to use it. So it's not a big deal. It's not like we need to be constantly going in and out of this little pouch. I feel like that's good right there. And so what they're talking about is, if you don't know, you can then put a belt through here or a pack strap and carry it that way. Or you can just clip it and carry it there, and it is fairly compact. Okay, cool. EDC tourniquet. Going down through the list, Tact Med info card. So this is, I don't know, let's see. This is all emergency information you would write about yourself, I guess. Oh, look at that. Lots of stuff. Blood types. I'm surprised how many people don't know their own blood type. Now, granted, I know my own blood type because one day the government issued me a set of dog tags that had my blood type on it, and I had to wear it forever and ever and ever, and I just memorized it. But there's so many people that don't know their own blood type. Now, what do we have on here? So, what is this for? Okay. Realistically, some people would be like, I'm not putting all my information out. There are people that just wouldn't want to do this. This is so that if you are unconscious, if you are found in an altered mental state, rescuers can access this information and have some idea of who you are and what they're doing prior to just making assumptions and treating. So this is so that they can obviously know who you are, where you live, if you know, so that if they need to access that or just input it for the record. Sometimes putting that in will bring up previous history and stuff. Religion, it's kind of morbid, but the only reason they want to know your religion is so that if necessary they can bring the appropriate religious figurehead to say those appropriate, hey bro, you're gonna die words. Honestly, that's why medical people might ask your religion, so that they can provide that for it. Also, there are also some medical religions that do not accept certain medical things. Like, if I get this wrong, I really forgive me, but I'm trying to remember. Seventh-day Adventists will not accept blood products of any kind. There's a lot of, I think also Jehovah's Witnesses will not accept blood, or you know, there's a lot of different religions that don't accept different medical things. So actually there's two reasons, but I remember in the Army, in the Air Force, it was, why is it on your dog tags? So that they can have the appropriate last rites given to you, you know, if and when. Emergency contact is important, because who are they going to call that they can, number one, notify about your situation, and number two, this is really important, ask about what medical conditions you might have. For example, sometimes a certain stage of suffering a diabetic crisis can really resemble you are drunk. So until they can actually get that test done, it's really good to be able to call somebody who can say, oh yeah, no, they're a diabetic, and then they know chances are we need to treat A, not B. Medical conditions, you don't have to list everything on here. This is just the things that might affect your life or would be affected by different emergency treatments. If you have questions, you can ask your doctors. Like, I wouldn't list everything on here. Like, I would not list medical conditions. I had my shoulder blown up and I had 3 surgeries to put it back together, because that doesn't affect how EMS treats me for different things. I might put I have PTSD, because that would affect, I have combat-related PTSD, because that affects the way they might approach the situation. I'm not going to go through my own personal medical history here, but I would definitely put that I have respiratory or pulmonary issues, because that tells them right up front that whatever's going on, this person doesn't get oxygen regularly, normally in the day-to-day life. So probably let's put them in. Here I go. So there's a couple different ways to deliver. There's a few different ways to deliver oxygen in a hospital and a pre-hospital setting. Blow by. First, you're on room air. What you're breathing right now, watching this video, is what we call room air. It's the normal 21% oxygen in the air. Not all the air you breathe is oxygen, by the way. It's mostly nitrogen and other stuff in the air, and a little bit of CO2 and everything. And your body uses a certain amount of that oxygen and excretes the rest. So you can have somebody on room air. You can have blow-by, which is where you put the oxygen flowing just sort of near the person's mouth and nose, and literally it blows by and they breathe it in. You can have a nasal cannula, and that's, I remember this guy Bardos, he failed out of medic school, but he kept pronouncing nasal cannula, and it was really funny. You see this on TV and movies all the time, or you might have had it yourself. It's where there's plastic tubing that wraps around the ears, and there's 2 little prongs that go up the nose. Now, that's a little less invasive than having an oxygen mask on you, but you can't provide the volume of oxygen that you can with a full oxygen mask, which can provide 100% high flow, 100% O2. Oxygen is measured in how many liters they're delivering per minute. So there's different ways. So I tell you this, to say, like, when we're talking medical conditions, there's things that you, me, everybody have that really don't affect the way that emergency care is given. But when I say I have respiratory pulmonary issues, they know, okay, let's go straight to the high flow 100% O2 rather than, you know what I mean? So it helps speed up the process and give you the right care. Current medications, I'm going to be totally honest, all my medications wouldn't fit on there. So what you would want to put are the most important ones that affect your daily life. If you're on things that can cause big side effects, like if blood thinners, Coumadin, heparin, aspirin, things like that, you definitely, they want to know that. If there are medications that have a high likelihood, and again, these are things you can ask a doctor or look up online. I hate saying look up online, but medications that have a high likelihood of interaction with emergency medical drugs, you can list those. You don't have to list everything. Mine would never fit on there. Allergies, you want to put drugs you're allergic to as well as food allergies. Might not think you need to tell an ambulance crew about a food allergy, but knowing you have a food allergy might help them figure out what's going on in that particular situation. I don't know if I've ever told you guys this. I'm allergic to cilantro. It's fucking ridiculous. I'm a freak of nature. No, actually, I'm not. If you have ever eaten cilantro and you think it tastes like soap, congratulations. Welcome to the club. That is the lowest grade level of cilantro allergy. That is your body's defense mechanism telling you, and I learned this from the allergenist, or whatever, allergy specialist. That is your body's defense mechanism telling you, do not eat this stuff. It's not good for you. I happen to have the allergy level where I need an EpiPen if I eat cilantro, and that's a big deal. So anyway, food allergies and especially drug allergies. And then insurance. We live in a day and age where, unfortunately, that's necessary. You can be charged for your ambulance ride and stuff. If you have your insurance and your policy number, that's fantastic. You can put that on there. I have to tell you, I got to be honest, like being a retiree guy and being able to use TRICARE, it is phenomenal insurance. Who knew? The military actually gives you phenomenal insurance. I didn't use the VA for anything if I don't have to. And then your blood type. They have these stickers. And I'll fess up right in front of you guys. Give me this. Give me this. It's very easy to get your blood type done if you don't know it. So there we go. I've got my blood type on there. So that's the whole point of this card and why you would fill it out. So you don't have to. Obviously, you can use this waterproof little card pouch for anything you want. You can, but here's how it is. So I guess what they're saying is that this goes in the pouch, and then the lanyard sticks on the outside, and our flashlight from the Pro level from last month secures that. Cool. Okay. Moving along, hemostatic gauze. I have talked about this over and over and over. Come on, hemostatic gauze. You guys still think it's funny when I explain? Ooh, says the powder in it. So regular gauze dressing is just gauze. It's just sterile gauze. Hemostatic gauze is soluble regenerated cellulose. I'm just trying to figure out what kind this is. I don't know. This is how I always translate this word, and people think it's funny. So, hemo means blood. Static, well, hemostat, but it's hemostatic. Static, fucking stop it. Hemostatic, it stops bleeding. So this is impregnated with something that helps stop bleeding and clot blood. What this particular one is, I have no idea. Hemostat gauze dressing. That's like it's like a trade name. I don't know, but they have you folding this over, and you can fold it over and it's not going to affect whatever's in the gauze. That's fine. It's okay. You are kidding me. There is no way. Sorry, I'm just looking at this pouch and what they want me to put in next, and there is no way. No way, brah. No way. All right, so this is going to go in here, and that would be for... You wouldn't need to use a hemostatic dressing for a simple cut or abrasion. You would want to use that when you have bleeding that is uncontrolled by your standard bleeding control methods. Number one, put a dressing on. Now that could be the if you want to go right to that, that's fine. But if it is just a standard abrasion, simple cut, you might not need that. If you have a deep laceration, you might want to go right to that. So, all right, I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to keep going. Number 4, Super Skin Med Packs. So this is by My Medic, which My Medic, some of their products are great, and some of them are very gimmicky. I feel as a guy, medical, like, what are you doing with this and the thing? But so Super Skin, first aid to treat cuts and scrapes. So Band-Aid stuff. Let's see what they have inside. 10 1x3 bandage med packs. Bandage med packs. A 1x3, that's a Band-Aid. A 1x3 bandage, plastic strip. Remember, Band-Aid is a trade name. It's like calling all Kleenex, all tissues a Kleenex is like we call all of these things a Band-Aid, but they come by different names. Colors: carbon, olive, and stone per med pack. What? Wait, so they're, okay. So these have, I get it now. I take it back. Well, I don't take it back, but I think we have to open this up. Makes so much more sense of what they want us to do now. I still don't understand what they're talking about the colors. What are they talking about with the colors? So this is cool. This is a lot cooler than what I thought. And I'm sorry I talk shit, but I'm not sorry I talk shit. So you get 10 of these. That's what, because I was going to say they want number 4. They want you to put this in the pouch. And I was like, how the hell is this guy thing? So you take one of these, and in there, in each one of them, you get one 1x3 bandage, Band-Aid, one 2x3 gauze pad, one antiseptic towelette, and one little triple antibiotic ointment. Only use triple antibiotic ointment on a surface level injury. Don't put it inside. If you are going through multiple layers of skin, so basic cut, scrape, or abrasion. Abrasion is like, when you rub the skin, like you fall down on gravel in it. Do not put your triple antibiotic ointment into a gaping wound. If it's more than the first layer of skin is involved, you don't use that stuff. So this is basically enough to treat one little wound, and they give us 10 of them. How many do you want to carry around at any one time? This is what you were... I see it all the time. When people are like, what should I put in when I merge the medical pack? I'm like, shitload of Band-Aids and little bandages. Little gauze pads. Because even as a combat medic, the thing I use more than anything else, you know what happens to dudes out in the field? They get cuts, scrapes, little abrasions, little surface burns, simple stuff. Yeah, the big fancy trauma items you're going to use when you go into combat where there's like a oh shit situation. I went through Band-Aid after, seriously, like guys coming over, these big, strong, combat dudes. Doc, I cut my finger, I need a Band-Aid. You know what I mean? Like that, you're going to go through that over and over and over. So this is going to be the most used item in this and in any other first aid kit. Always stock up on Band-Aids, multiple size ones. The triple antibiotic ointment is great, but in general, if you can just rinse that thing out, if it's just a surface level, triple antibiotic ointment is just an extra, or any of those kinds of things. You really generally don't need them. These are great because they're packaged like this. I like it a lot. So this is going to go in here. I might even see if I could squeeze 2 of them in. Okay. And then with the rest of them, you could put them for like reloading this, or you could just keep, seriously, one in the glove compartment, one in the center console, one in your purse, fanny pack, backpack, whatever it is that you carry. Very good. I really like the concept of this. Okay. And then 5 is compressed gauze. So this is just a big, instead of a roll of gauze, it is a brick of gauze that has been vacuum packed so that it is, so it's sterile gauze that you can use to, I thought they'd show them packing. They are packing gauze into a wound with their fingers. You can use this gauze to pack a wound if you know what you're doing, and if you have gloves on, or you can use this to make a dressing, or you can use this to, does this say, this is sterile, right? Is this sterile? I gotta assume this is sterile. Or you can use this to wrap around a dressing you already have on whatever's going on. Being compressed like this puts it in a flatter, easier to carry. Maybe I am gonna just have to reduce this to one. A little easier to carry in a pouch like this package than a big gauze roll. So, that will go in here. Let's not squish my new favorite little item there. Come on out, so you don't get squished on the bottom. I really am a very big fan of these little. I really like the way they did that. Even though it's like basically one little, one little cut at a time, but still, how convenient. And so that's everything in the standard box. We're gonna flip over. We already talked about this in the Pro. The other thing is Seal Hemostatic Spray, the first and only FDA cleared Cheetah Sand dry power in aerosol form. I honestly don't know what the hell that means. It acts as a physical barrier, sealing wounds to stop blood flow. Okay. All right. So this is a spray to stop bleeding. Did I ever tell you guys? I'm sure I said this before. You know, in the emergency room and on the ambulance and out in the field, we use crazy glue. We would seal wounds with crazy glue. They have surgical medical crazy glue, which is the exact same thing as, I can't speak for any other brand, but the actual original crazy glue is sterile out of the tube. Yeah. So I've seen stuff like this at work in the ER years and years and years ago. I haven't seen it out in personal hands before. This is one single use. So once you use this, that's done. So you wouldn't use this because you got a little cut. You would use this because there's a serious thing. Some easy to follow instructions there. Now the question is, how are you going to carry this? If you were, you definitely need another little pouch to put this in. And fortunately, like I said, I have a lot of pouches. I have one I see in a box right here. I don't know if it's going to fit. No, it is absolutely not going to fit. Not, well, you know, it fits like this. Just won't close. I have a whole lot of different pouches and things like this. If it would close, this would be great. And, comma, hold on. Comma, never mind. I had just found a bunch of really cool Velcro cable ties that would have been perfect. I could have closed this with them and still had very quick, easy access. I don't know where I put them, and I'm not going to go crazy looking for them. Anyway, if there was a pouch for this, that'd be really cool, because we're talking about EDC, you know, so you can carry it around. I'd like to see this stuff in action, you know, the out of the hospital version. I'm going to have to look it up. But if you have a bleed, let's see, I wonder what kind of... It says for management of minor bleeding. So road rash would be a good one for this, you know. But again, minor bleeding, so like not a multi-thickness, you know, involving an artery or a vein or something like that. But 99% of the bleeds you're going to get in your life are going to be capillary bleeding. So you won't, anyway. So there we go. And Care Under Fire and Human Performance in Combat Casualty Care Part 1 is the Academy class. And I'm going to watch that for sure. I want to see what they have to say about that. That's going to be really cool. That's one of the cool things about being part of the pro, is that you get to those classes online. So what do we have with our box 2 of EDC? So we've still got this little first aid survival guide from My Medic, which I haven't really gone through, but I'm looking forward to doing. We have this little light, which is actually really cool. I've been messing with it. You know, you can see it in the last... Oh. So what do we have in our 2 boxes so far from EDC? So we have this little first aid survival guide from My Medic, which is, it still looks pretty cool. I haven't really taken the time to go through it, but I want to, and I'm going to. We have this little light over here, which actually I've been messing around with it. Is very good. It's very cool, very useful. I like it. So, you know, pro item kind of thing. We've got a couple of cool pro items here. Turning this tourniquet into a true EDC, carry it around anywhere. This guy, we'll see how it shakes out. You know, I don't have anything. I'd love to test it, but I'd hate the situation that would bring the opportunity to test it. But we'll see. You know, we've got some cool basic first aid stuff. I'll say it one more time. I think that this is really cool. You could put this together yourself though, and save a lot of money with some little Ziploc snack size bags. Just saying. Put it together, and then like with a vacuum sealer even, and you know, have it perfectly airtight and everything. I really like the convenience of having the 10 of these little things all in one, and cool. So I'm pretty, you know, I'm so glad whoever pointed out Medic Box and said we should take a look at it. I can't remember. It was multiple people, but thanks. You guys are awesome. I'm really having a good time doing this. And again, I have substituted the knife for an actual rescue knife, which I guess really you don't need because it's an EDC thing. I'll get the drivetrain and bring it back in for the next and final EDC phase. But cool. So what do you guys think? Other Medic Box I was going to say survivors, subscribers, or those of you who are just watching to see, are you enjoying the EDC box so far? Your phase anyway. I really, when I get to 12, I don't know, because there's only, when I get to the box 12, what happens then? I don't know. It's going to be all done. It's going to be like the end of a TV series you really like. So anyway, let me know what you think, guys. Thanks for spending some more time with me. Remember that you guys are all absolutely awesome, and I appreciate every single one of you, and I'll be back again real soon.